What's up, guys? J.R. Raymond back again, coming to you from Classic Lanes in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And I'm actually inside MRB Classic Pro Shop, where Mason Brantley is the Pro Shop operator here. And we're going to talk about laying out a couple of different balls. I got two DV8 balls and a Radical ball that I want to lay out. We're going to talk about dual angles and show you exactly what those numbers mean and how you can kind of relate those to your arsenal a little bit here as well. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. So I've got three bowling balls here we're going to lay out. We're going to do some dual angles on these. So this video is going to be a little bit longer just because I want to get through all three balls, talk about the numbers, and talk about, why I'm laying them out the way I'm laying them out. So for the three bowling balls here, we got the closer, we've got the verge from DV8, and a DV8 frequency. So this weekend I'm going to bowl in a regional that is 36 feet, and I have these bowling balls in front of me, which I'm going to do a review on as well. But these are three bowling balls that I think will be really good, strong pieces to add to the bag for a shorter pattern that will let me kind of smooth them out a little bit. So what we're going to do, so let's look at the DV8 frequency. The frequency is, we got the numbers on it, is 247047, 247RG, 047 differential. And then with the verge, we've got 247049. So these two are actually very similar numbers-wise. I haven't looked at the core shape at all, but we're probably going to put a similar layout on these because they are similar numbers, and we're going to try and get them to be kind of complement each other based on the different cover stocks on each ball. And then we have the closer over here at 254050. So we got a much higher much higher RG and a higher differential as well, a little bit higher differential. So it should flare a little bit more, but get down the lane at the same time. So I'm going to take, let's take a look here. What do we got? So the verge is symmetrical, closer is symmetrical, and the frequency is asymmetrical. Okay, so cool. So yeah, so definitely with this being asymmetrical, even though the numbers are very similar to this, we're still going to try and put a similar layout on these. And because this one is a little bit cleaner, we're going to do something a little bit different. So let's start with the asymmetrical ball. We're going to take and we're going to draw a line straight from the pin. You can see the DV8 has jumped on board with Brunswick, and they have now this little dot, the dot, what do they call that? The dot something, technology we'll call it, where they use a dot here, so that way you don't see cracking from when you drill the ball. So we're going to draw a straight line from that pin, technically, to the mass bias here of the bowling ball. And then to get our first number, we're going to put the 0 marker on the prosect, which is the line right in the center. We're going to put that right on the dot. Okay, and we're going to line this straight back up and down through the mass bias down here. So then we're going to make our first number, our first degree. With an asymmetrical ball, this first number is really important. With these other ones, the first number is not important, but it just kind of keeps us going in the direction we're looking for. So with this asymmetrical ball, I got to keep in mind the numbers are a little bit lower in the RG, so it's going to start up already a little bit quicker. So I kind of want to go with a higher first number to see if I can't delay that a bit. So we're going to go with 60. Okay, so we'll go with 60 degrees. Now where you mark that, you're going to go from the pin through that marking you just made and just draw a straight line down. Okay, so that first number is 60 degrees. Okay, so now we need to figure out how much do we want this ball to flare. We're going to look at the differential of this. It is 0.49. It's a decent number. It's not a high number. It's not in the 50s, so it's not a real high flaring ball, but it's still going to flare quite a bit for us. So we're going to try and find a number in between. We kind of want it to flare. We want it to be strong, but not too strong. So let's go 4.5 inches. Now, 3 3/8, if we were to go about 3 3/8 or somewhere about between let's call it 3 and 4 inches, is going to be the strongest flare. You're going to get the most flare potential out of this ball you can possibly get. You're getting your pin closer to your positive axis and closer to your VAL as well, which will make the ball flare quite a bit more. And flare, for those who don't know, are those oil rings you see around the ball. The distance you see between each one is increased flare. If it's real close together, your flare is short. If it's real far away, then you've got high flare. Okay, so, and then you're going to see it spread across the entire ball. And sometimes you can see it, you know, be this thin, and sometimes you can see it be real wide like that. Okay, so we're going to go 4.5. So now we have a marking there. Now what we're going to do is where we made that mark on the ball, we're going to put the 0 right on top of that mark and line it straight up and down that line. Okay, now we need the third number to determine what we want the ball to do down lane. How strong do we want the ball to be down lane? So we're going to go, the lower the number, the stronger it's going to be down lane. Mo says anywhere from 20 to 90 degrees on this number. And that first degree was the same thing, 20 to 90, 20 being the earliest roll on the first angle, and 90 being later. We went more towards 90, we went 60 degrees. On this one, we kind of want it to be somewhat controllable and predictable for the shorter pattern. So I'm going to go 75. I'm going to make it pretty high. 75. So where that mark is, we mark it with where the other mark was. Draw it straight through there. And this technically is what we would call our VAL, or our vertical axis line, which is the line off of it where we're going to go directly to the side. Now, we need to figure out whatever our positive axis is, we have to go in that direction. So like for me, I'm an inch up on my positive axis. So I'm 4.5 over and an inch up. So I need to go, an inch down on this instead of up to be able to get that. So that way this mark right here ends up being my positive axis. So I'm going to go an inch down, and then I'm going to go straight across from there. Okay. So straight across, draw that line straight across. Now I go right to 4.5 and make a mark there. And that's where our center line is going to end up being. So this is going to end up being pinned down for me. Draw a straight line up. Okay. So then the holes are going to end up being here and here. Okay. So now you're going to notice that the CG is really close to the thumb. It's not going to matter because the new weight hole rules allow for 3 ounces. We're not going to put a hole in this. But if I do need to put a hole in this, this helps to where I can then put a hole down if I need a little bit more motion out of it, up until next year at least. So now we're going to do the same thing with this ball. We're just going to lay it out the exact same way. And go straight through. There. First number doesn't matter on this one, but we want it to look the same and be the same. So we're going to go back to 60 degrees again. Draw the straight line through. Okay. Then we're going to go 4.5 over, make that mark, go back on here, back to 75, make that mark again, straight through there. Okay, that's our VAL. Now we need to go an inch down there, and then 4.5 inches over, make the mark there, and straight up and down center line, boom. Now we're going to have the same layout as what we do over there. So now we've got that one. So we're going to be good there. So we got 2 the same layouts, 60 degrees by 4.5 inches by 75. So it should be a little bit cleaner and a little bit smoother down lane with a medium type of flare out of the bowling ball. Okay. So now we've got the closer, another symmetrical ball. Now this one has a higher RG, which means it's naturally, the core's naturally going to delay itself because it's got a higher RG on it. Okay, so then the differential is a little bit higher, so not much. It's only a couple points higher at 50, so it's not going to matter much. But again, this first number is not going to matter on this because it's symmetrical, but we're going to use it anyway just so you guys know, how to do this still. So we're going to go back again right on the pin. Now, what do I want to do with this? I want to do something. What am I going to do? Let's do, maybe we should do super, I need something super clean and super smooth. So we're going to go big on this. So let's go crazy. Let's go 80 degrees here. Okay. 80 degrees first number. Draw that line straight across. And now we want it to flare less. So let's go 5 inches. So we're going to go 5 inches from our positive axis. We're going to go, and then we want it to be not strong down lane. So let's go 80. So we're going to go 80 by 5 by 80. Get this down here. Draw this line straight down. We got a vertical axis, and again, we got to go an inch down here. So we're going down. center across here, all the way over at 4.5 inches. The pencil's starting to give out on me. There we go, 4.5 inches there. And this is again, it's going to be pinned down, but it's going to be over to the left now from the other one, the other two. So now we're going to be here. Okay, center line. So now the pins, my fingers are going to be up here. Thumb's going to be right at where the CG is again. So now we've got some that's going to be a little bit further over, a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. We're going to throw some holes in this, and then you'll be able to see exactly what these balls do. So stay tuned for the actual footage coming of what these balls are going to look like on the lane. But for now, this shows you how the dual angles work. Remember, it's always that first number on an asymmetrical ball is going to determine how early or how late that the core is going. You're going to try to get the core going. So the lower the number, the closer to 20 degrees you get that first number, the earlier you're going to get it to start up. The closer to 90 degrees that you get that first number, the later you're going to get that ball to start up. So anywhere between 20 and 90 according to Mo on his chart. And then the second number is the distance from your pin to your positive axis point is going to determine your flare potential, how much your ball is going to flare based on the differential that you have on the ball. So for me, I did 4.5 inches, which is kind of, it's not strong, but it's not weak. And then the third number is going to determine how much down lane motion you're going to see for the most part. Again, on a scale of 20 to 90, this time the lower number means it's going to be sharper down lane. The higher the number means it's going to be smoother. So hope this helps you guys a little bit, being able to kind of lay some stuff out, figuring out what your layouts are. And to be able to backtrack, all you got to do to figure out what your layouts are just find all these exact lines. So drawing from your pin through your mass bias, or if you don't have a mass bias, it's your pin through your CG straight down to the end of the pro side. What is it? It ends up being 6.5-ish, somewhere like that. No, not that it really matters, just see where the mass bias is. But then, you know, figuring out where your positive axis is, drawing your center line, drawing all the lines that you need, and then measuring out the angles that you've got on there to try to figure out what your actual layouts are of bowling balls. But maybe I'll do a separate video showing you how to find your dual angles for your other bowling balls. But for now, these are these 3 balls. This is what we've got going. If you got questions, make sure to hit us up. You can definitely shoot us an email over at proshop@BowlerX.com, or you can find me at lifestractioncontroljr@gmail.com, and we will try to get to your questions as quick as possible. Otherwise, just comment below, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure to share the video so people can learn a little bit about dual angles with some of these DV8 and Radical bowling balls that I've got in front of me. So until next time, guys, thanks again, and we'll see you later.